No! So, welcome welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, and it's Friday Reads. I'm actually getting one filmed properly. So let's talk about the things I have read this week. I finished a few things. I'm in the middle of just one or two things, so it shouldn't be too long of a video. The first thing that I read this week was a manga that did come out, I believe, this week as well, which was, this doesn't come out. It either came out this week or last week. That is Ghost and Witch Volume 1 by Kore Yamazaki, right? Yeah, Yamazaki. She is the artist and author behind Ancient Magus Bride, which I am a big fan of that manga series. I just read the Collected Fragments, which also came out in the last couple weeks, and this one followed shortly after. This is set in the same world as Ancient Magus Bride, but is behind different characters. Our main character, Saku, has left Japan, and she is in Ireland, and she's trying to find a way to break what she thinks is a curse on her. She has this spirit of a snake that follows her around and tells her to do these, kind of horrific things, and she's trying to get rid of it. And this is following that, and she comes in contact with the first the fair folk she's ever met, she knows of and stuff. And it's about her meeting them and getting caught in that. And the whole premise kind of is that the witch that she meets says that I can make you a god. She has no idea what that means. She doesn't know if she wants that, but she does think that this witch can help her get rid of the spirit. So she's like, okay, you teach me about what's happening in the world and we'll talk. So it is that. I hope that this crosses over with Magus. There is a possibility. The current arc in Ancient Magus Bride is about the great worms awakening, which are like the great dragons in the world. And there's hints that one of them is the Welsh dragon that's on the flag. There's another red dragon, and then there's something with Chisei and another dragon. And I'm wondering if the snake that is following Saku has something to do with this. I don't know. It may be unrelated, but I am going to pick up the second one that comes out in June. The art and story in this, as always, is fantastic. The art is the big thing for me. I really love the style, and I like the whole fairy thing, so I enjoyed this greatly. I will definitely continue it. I did mention last week that I was reading January's National Geographic. I will go ahead and throw out that I finished it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite magazine I've ever read. I've read other National Geographics that are better, and in fact, February's issue is already a little better, but it was good. It's going on a shelf for a while before, like I said, it goes to the chopping block for me and my daughter. And I finished 2 novels this week. The first was really short, which is why there's 2 of them, and that is Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I read and loved I'm Glad My Mom Died last year. I thought that was really good. And this is very controversial at the moment. When the last time I looked at the ratings, it was a 3.5. And it was getting a lot of 1-star and 2-star reviews. A lot of people really don't like this. It's crude. It's it's not... Crude is the word, but there's another word that I would use, and I've already lost it, but almost grotesque. Our main character is a 18-year-old. She transitions between the two ages. 18-year-old senior, and she is very much addicted to online shopping. She works at a Victoria's Secret, and she gets the hots for her very unattractive, and it is stated as such, teacher who is twice her age. He's, of course, married with a child, and there is this sort of relationship that comes of it. It's very gross. It's very crude. It's very gross, and you are left with this feeling of, it's very obviously he starts to groom her, and then it goes down this path of icky gross the whole time. But it is written in such a way, it was like a train wreck. I couldn't look away from. I really enjoyed it. I thought it said some interesting things. I thought it was really weird, and it's not going to be for everybody, but it worked for me. It had some really weird descriptions, but I think that leaned into the whole voice of the main character, who is, I think, supposed to be around Gen Z. And it's it was so weird, and the constant need for approval and love and to be wanted and seen, and I thought thought it was well done, especially considering a lot of Jeanette McCurdy's history. I read somewhere that she had been groomed at some point in her life that she'd spoken about, and this is kind of reflecting that. So it was interesting. It was an interesting read. It was a disturbing read. And so I don't know if you have any triggers that have to do with grooming or with like very inappropriate child-adult relationships. You don't want to read this. But it was something. I tell you what, it was something. It's not going to be for everybody. I'm surprised it was for me. But I did read it and I frankly ate it up. So there you go. And the other book I read, this was a week of like weirdly heavy books besides the manga. So there you go. And I say that holding up a Matt Denneman. So this is Operation Bounce House. This is Matt Denneman's newest work. Do not go into this expecting anything like Dungeon Crawler Carl. Now this is a very somewhat similar premise. We are following Oliver, his sister Lulu, and some of their friends. They live on a planet called New Sonora, and they're farmers. That's what they do. Lulu is an online sex worker and a farmer, and then, Ollie runs the farm and all the friends run the farm. They have this like defunct band where they mess around. They are the children of a group of people, or they're the grandchildren, great-grandchildren? I think it's the great-grandchildren and grandchildren of people who came over on 15 colony ships. And they were pretty much cut off from Earth until recently when a gate was opened and Earth's ambassador has come and gone, I think, once. Well, Oliver has no idea what's going on geopolitically or like on Earth when Operation Bounce House is set up and begins. And Operation Bounce House is a thing that has started on Earth where they have decided that the people on New Sonora are insurgents. They're terrorists and they're going to wipe them out because they are not aligning with Earth's ideals. He had no idea this was coming. Some of his friends had suspicions because there was like some chatter on the news state broadcasts and stuff, but it begins, and what this means is that people can buy mechs, and they can be dropped onto New Sonora, and they can fight the insurgents. But what's really happening is, yes, these people are buying mechs, but it's almost like they're just buying Call of Duty. They are buying a video game that drops them on New Sonora. They are actually piloting mechs from Earth, but they are seeing through a filter, say, I'm going to use a scene from the book. There is a group of people, but they're running away. The people in the mechs on Earth see armed insurgents running away, so naturally they open fire. So, you have things like that happening. There is also the fact that some of these people piloting these mechs, they're like 15 and 14. Some of them don't care if they're killing innocents. In fact, one person describes the fact that she doesn't care, which is horrifying. This is not a light book, okay? This is not a light book. This isn't Carl, especially early Carl books. This is not that thing, right? There's very little humor in this. There is some. Matt Denneman has some humor, and it does feel like his writing, but this is very different from Carl. If you listen to the audiobook, Jeff Hayes, who does the Carl audiobooks, does help with the narration on this. He is not the primary narrator. That's Travis Baldry, who is also the author of Legends and Lattes. He is Oliver's voice, and that was weird. And Jeff Hayes does Roger and a few of the other side voices. Roger is the AI that helps him on the farm. And like, this is heavy. I actually almost DNF'd this the first third because there is a death of a very small toddler that it was very, it was a lot for me to read about. It continues with heavy deaths and it continues with emotional impact, right? This is going to try to hit you emotionally, and it's very political. It's very apt for the current moment. I don't quite know how to explain this without spoiling it, but the vibes of the Bad Bunny halftime show that everybody talks about, the love over hate sort of thing, that is important in here as well. And like, it's heavy. It messed me up. It messed me up quite a bit. So like, go in with care. It's not Carl. It's not funny. I wouldn't even call it fun so much. For me, it wasn't. It very much looks at the idea of like desensitizing yourself to violence and desensitizing yourself to like the wanton destruction of people's homes. What that means for like the young people and what that means for the casual people, like viewers of the news. Like, you see these atrocities, and it also talks a little bit about performatism, like how you can sit on your couch and be mad about something, but you just don't do anything about it, or you can't truly understand the gravitas or horror of what's happening. That's a lot of what this is about. It's very, I don't think it intentionally came out at the moment it did for it to feel quite so relevant, but it did. So there we are. That is, and I just finished that. So that is like messy, uncluttered thoughts. So that was the thing I finished less than an hour ago. I am currently getting ready to start the Morbidly Curious book club book for February, which was Rabid by Bill Wasick and Monica Murphy. I have read a book about cannibalism. Such a weird segue. That I think is somewhat related to this, or this is somewhat related to that. So I'm very excited because I really liked that book. I like weird topics like this. Like I mentioned, I'm reading February's National Geographic, and I'm very excited. The next fiction physical book I'm going to read is about a place in the Kinki region by Sesuji. This is from Seven Seas. If you are at all familiar with Pen Pal by Nathan Auerbach, which was a creepypasta that was turned into a traditionally published book, this is very similar. The author in this, he writes as if a friend of his has gone missing in this Kinki region after investigating something paranormal going on there, and he is writing about it, and it's mixed media. So it's a combination of like transcripts, prose, there are chat logs, things like that, as he tries to figure out what happened to his friend. Much like in Pen Pal, except instead of just doing letters and looking back on memories, we're using a whole lot more as far as media goes. Super pumped for this one. When they announced it a few months ago, I got so excited. I was talking about it to my husband, and he said he actually tried to buy it for me. He didn't realize it wasn't out in English, and he wasn't able to get it, but I actually pre-ordered it because I was so excited. And my Kindle book that I'm currently reading is For Human Use. I do not remember. I think the author's name is Sarah something, but I don't remember her actual name. Let me actually look. I might have it in my reading journal. Let's see. For Human Use is, of course, there it is. Sarah G. Pierce, I think, is what the tiny little image on my TBR says. So I'm reading that. That is really funny. It's also a little heavy, but it's also very funny. So I'm enjoying that. That's my Kindle read. I'll probably finish that. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a packed day for me and my child, but maybe sometime this weekend, which, I mean, actually on reflection is also going to be busy because we're working at the house. We'll see when I finish it. I will talk to you guys about that next week, I guess. But that is it for the week of reading. Some heavier, weirder, awkward books. I would recommend all of them. I liked all of them, but I don't know that I would recommend all of them universally, right? Only with some caveats in there, like I mentioned. But that's it. That's everything. Let me know what y'all have read. What are your thoughts? If you've read any of these or you're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Talk to me down below, and I'll see you again next time.